who farm our fields. Today is a
The following is a production of the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism at Western Illinois University.
A shooting in Aurora, Illinois happened this past week. Find out the aftermath of this situation coming up. Plus, technology is making local hospital visits more convenient for patients. How you can see a doctor and not have to travel far away from home coming up. And the Illinois minimum wage is set to increase next year. More details from Governor Pritzker ahead on Live at 4.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. News 3 starts now.
But first, we're keeping an eye on a winter weather advisory issued for our area. Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. I'm Devin Brooks. 5 hours from now, we may be seeing a mix of snow and freezing rain. For more on what to expect tonight, let's check in with Storm Team 3's Jared Streeter. Jared, what is the radar showing us right now?
Right now, what we're seeing a system moving up into our area. It's going to bring us wintry mix, starting with snow, and it's going to end up into ice as we head into the earlier parts of the morning. Parts of Springfield, which is in our southern viewing area, is already seeing some precipitation right now. And right now, this is our current, the prelim snow amount. And parts of Illinois, northwestern Illinois in our area is seeing about 2 inches. Our area right now is looking at about 1.5 inches. We will have more on that later in the newscast. Back to you, Devin.
All right, thanks, Jared. The town of Aurora, Illinois is still in shock after 5 people were killed in a workplace shooting on Friday. An employee pulled out a gun and started shooting moments after he was fired from his job. Some workers returned to Henry Pratt Company on Monday. Marcella Raymond reports on how people are coping with their losses.
A small group of employees of the Henry Pratt Manufacturing Company returned to work 3 days after a mass shooting that took the lives of 5 men and injured another. 5 police officers were taken to the hospital. All but one has been released. He's in good condition. This man says his cousin works here and survived.
He says it's very traumatizing. That right now all he's doing is just kind of taking it easy at home.
Last night, the memorial for the men who were killed glowed brightly. Today, it's covered in snow.
We're here in my own town where, my heart is broken.
Greg Zanis made these crosses, and for hundreds of others who are victims of mass shootings. Columbine, Aurora, Colorado, Las Vegas. But this is different. This is too close.
Aurora's my home, and this is not supposed to happen in the country, but not in my home.
The company operators say they're paying for the funeral and medical expenses while other community members are helping the families of the victims. In other state news, a bill to raise the minimum wage has been signed into law. Today, Governor Pritzker signed the legislation to raise state wages to $15 by 2025. This bill makes Illinois the first state in the Midwest to implement a higher wage plan over the next 6 years. He says this bill is a victory for the state.
For 9 long years, there were many forces that were arrayed against giving a raise to the people who work so hard to provide home care for seniors, child care for toddlers, who wash dishes at the diner, and who farm our fields. Today is a victory for the cause of economic justice.
Back in Macomb, after 2 weeks of voting, the results of the Google Impact Challenge are in. The winner of the $250,000 prize is the Mattoon in Motion project. Despite the loss, the IIRA says they are still satisfied to receive $75,000.
I think there are a lot of great programs in the state that kind of fly under the radar. And Google has such a high visibility that when you attach that name to it, people tend to pay attention more, which is good. It gets I think that's almost as important, that people will start taking some of these other projects a little more seriously.
And the IIRA plans to continue building grocery stores in small communities. Well, in more campus news, a new exhibit is on display in Malpass Library. The exhibit showcases the National Historic Landmark Village of Bishop Hill. Located northeast of Galesburg, the settlement has left a legacy in Illinois immigration history. During the town's short existence, it served as the major center of commerce between Rock Island and Peoria. Visitors of the exhibit can see a public lecture by Dr. Jeff Hanks about the history of utopian societies in Illinois next Tuesday.
It was founded by a group of Swedish religious refugees in 1846, and the colony persisted into the 1850s before it was dissolved. It's a really neat opportunity to see the combination and sort of negotiation of European culture in a U.S. setting.
The exhibit is open to the public until March 18th in the Garden Lounge in the Malpass Library. Dr. Jeff Hanks will give his lecture there on February 26th at 3:30 p.m. Well, with reports continuing to break on the steady enrollment decline at Western Illinois University, News 3's DeMorris Dixon breaks down the latest numbers.
WIU's enrollment continues to drop. New numbers released on the university's website show more than 5,600 students this spring semester. In 2018, around 6,200 students were total. Overall, there was a 10.5% decrease in enrollment.
Yeah, like my freshman year, I could tell you it was a decline in students from my freshman year, yeah.
Students say they hope the drop in students will change soon.
I feel like that universities, just like this one, will grow with time. It will take time, and it's kind of just a slump right now, but I feel like with time, this trend will end.
I hope it ends up positive. I really do, cause this is my school. Like, they accepted me, one of the few schools that accepted me out of high school. So I hope Western succeeds.
Students feel the more the enrollment continues to go down, the more services that will be affected, such as reduced breakfast hours here at Corbin Hall.
Me living in Corbin Olson, I was really upset about the breakfast. That's just my personal thing though. But I understand, cause time with the budget and they're trying to save money.
I was kind of bummed about that.
Although overall enrollment continues to decrease, students say they are uncertain for what the future holds. For News 3, I'm DeMorris Dixon.
Also from the enrollment impact, the university decided all North Quad residence halls will no longer be available in the fall, and more teacher layoffs are expected come March 1st. To counter the decrease in enrollment, Western Illinois held another Discover Western on Monday. Prospective students were able to get an in-depth look at each department that Western offers. Some of them were even able to sit at our very own news desk and perform a mock newscast. Dan Huffmeyer was even surprised at how interested these students were versus previous ones.
From appearances, the students were more interactive with the tour and interested in the equipment and the quality of product that we put out for our broadcasting department.
WIU's next Discover Western will be held on Saturday, April 13th, 2019. Well, coming up next on Live at 4, celery juice, fab or fad? That's coming up next.
National Broadcasting Society helps the future of broadcasting get the tools needed to succeed in an ever-growing media world. At Western Illinois University, the professional connections students bring to our chapter of NBS have opened doors to networking possibilities that students otherwise wouldn't have. The opportunities we are given as students at WIU allow us to make connections today for success tomorrow.
They gave me Vicodin after my knee surgery. They kept prescribing it, so I kept taking it. I didn't know it would be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
I chose Western Illinois University because I could get involved right away. You're going to gain experience. I'm going to be able to just become successful right out the gate. I'll be a news reporter and eventually become a news anchor one day. I've always felt that as a strong speaker, I could be a voice for the voiceless. But as long as I continue to believe in myself, work hard, and show that I want to put my best foot forward, I think that anything is possible.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. Live at 4 continues.
Welcome back. As technology advances in the medical field, it's also helping to make local hospital visits easier for patients to see their doctor. I got a look at the newest way McDonough District Hospital is using technology to make its appointments more convenient.
It's all on one cart. The latest technology used at McDonough District Hospital aims to keep patients from traveling far away for appointments.
We can use this stethoscope that we can listen on this end, but the pulmonologist in Springfield can also hear what we're hearing.
The telehealth card is used to see specialized doctors who may be located miles away from home, but through the telehealth video chat system, it keeps you from driving the distance.
Really, the telehealth cart can do everything that you could really do in person other than just actual hands-on.
The appointments take place at the hospital with a nurse while communicating over the live feed with a doctor from SIU Medical in Springfield.
So they can do a physical exam and they're 90 miles away.
The cart comes with tools used to listen to heart tones and lung sounds, as well as an otoscope to see in the patient's ears or throat, and also a handheld camera to examine all parts of the body.
If we need to see the back of the patient, if they have an ulcer on their heels or their back.
Officials say several patients use the telehealth cart and they expect to see it grow.
They're very thankful and appreciative that they're able to see that specialist here instead of having to be transferred.
Community members say this new addition to the healthcare system is a great advantage to residents in rural areas.
I think it's an awesome idea, especially because a lot of times people are unable to get appointments in when they need to. So if they are like on urgent business trying to see a doctor right away, that would allow them to see the doctor as soon as possible.
Officials say the doctor usually offers using the new service to a patient during the visit, but they can always request it.
We have to kind of explain it to the patient and kind of get them accustomed to it, let them know what we're doing and how they're going to be seeing this physician.
Right now, MDH officials say it usually takes only 24 hours to set up telehealth appointments. They also say they've had several inpatient telehealth visits. As more staff is hired, they will bring the system to the patient's home. And they tell me most insurance companies cover the cost for using the telehealth system. Well, from lowering risk of heart disease, increased weight loss, and even curing acne, these are just some of the claims made by advocates by the latest trend in dieting. Meredith Wood has more.
Celery juice. It's been praised all over social media for clearing up acne, preventing heart disease, decreasing bloat, encouraging weight loss, even preventing cancer. But is it really the cure-all some claim it to be? Dietitians like Paige Love aren't so convinced.
Celery juice may not have anything special that allows it to be any more disease lowering than some of the other current well-known fruits and vegetables out there that are colorful.
But Love says during cleanses or juicing, people tend to overdo it.
Well, what I find as a dietitian, a lot of people come in and they jump on this bandwagon and they drop their entire diet while they're doing a cleanse and they are just drinking celery juice. So the harm in just drinking one food group, one food source like a vegetable, is that you're missing protein, you're missing energy.
According to Love, that can cause a whole host of problems.
An immediate cleansing of the gut, thus the cleanse that it's been named for, and immediate diarrhea. And diarrhea can lead to dehydration.
But if you're still gung-ho on trying it, Love says just make sure it's in moderation.
Juice by itself is not the magical cure, but it's a great addition to a well-balanced diet.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
All right, coming up next on Live at 4, another round of freezing rain and snow will move across western Illinois this evening. Storm Team 3's Jared Streeter has more straight ahead.
On Tuesday, November 6th, our state will be making some important decisions.
You might think it's not important,
or your vote doesn't matter.
But that's not true.
If you don't know how
or where to register,
visit vote.gov.
Make your voice heard.
Create your success at Western Illinois University. Automatic scholarships and affordable education and more are all yours at Western Illinois University. Apply today at wiu.edu.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
I want to be able to stand in front of the camera and tell people the story of what the weather's going to be like that day, or be able to tell people, hey, there's something coming your way, you need to take cover, you need to watch out. And being able to stand in front of a camera and tell not only people who are directly involved but their family members as well, like, this is what's going on. It's been very important to me because, you know, being in those situations where you are relying on the news to tell you what's going on, I like to be a part of that and helping people with that.
Welcome back, Macomb. Currently outside, we're seeing our temperatures just below freezing at 31 degrees, our dew point at 23 degrees, and winds are east at 7 miles an hour, so it's a little bit of a slow wind outside. We're a little bit under our average this time of year. Our average high is 39 degrees. I wish we were at our record high at 72 degrees, but unfortunately that's not the case today. Right now you can see this moisture being pushed up into Illinois, which is the snowstorm that we're going to be seeing tonight into tomorrow morning. We also have this moisture moving up into Illinois through Iowa right now. Move over so you can see a little bit better. You can see this area getting all the moisture, and down in Springfield they're already seeing some precipitation again, as I mentioned earlier. Here are the clouds. Very cloudy outside, not much sunlight. Current temperatures around the area right now, Macomb, we're seeing 31 degrees. It seems like the entire region, our viewing area, is under or at freezing currently. Tonight, we're going to see 27 degrees in Macomb, Beardstown, 29 degrees. In Quincy, we're going to see 30 degrees. Tomorrow, we're going to see more of the same as today, 38 degrees, 39 in Beardstown, and 40 in Springfield. Now, as we go into tomorrow night, we're going to see temperatures 21 degrees in Macomb, 24 degrees in Beardstown, and Burlington getting 18 degrees. Tonight, we're going to have ice and snow with freezing rain as well, with a low of 27 degrees, winds at 15 miles an hour. Tomorrow, we're going to see a high of 37 degrees, winds south-southwest at 14 miles an hour. And looking at our 5-day forecast, this will put you through a loop. 37 degrees today with snow and ice storm heading into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, 38 degrees. And as we head into the weekend, we have 43 degrees on Friday, 45 degrees on Saturday with morning thunderstorms heading into 33 degrees for the low that night and 34 degrees on Sunday as a high.
So how much snow are we expecting tonight?
We are going to look at anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of snow tonight with close to 1/10 of an inch of ice.
Yeah, so it's going to be very dangerous still to be out.
Tomorrow morning, the commute could be fairly dangerous for everyone.
Okay, well then, as we look at the forecast, it's heating up, and then we see the basketball season.
Oh yeah, basketball season. Yeah, it's starting to wrap up, and then baseball season's right around the corner. Coming up next on News 3 Live at 4, The Western Illinois men's basketball team looks to complete the season sweep against South Dakota. This and much more coming up next.
I started to think about doing broadcasting my freshman year. I started calling some football games for the freshman football team. My high school didn't really have a broadcasting program like some do, and so a lot of my stuff was just PA for different sports, for basketball, for volleyball. And my mom signed me up for a visit to come to Western on a Discover Western Day. And I walked through the doors of the rec center, and Buzz Hoon shook my hand and said, "Zach Stone, I've seen all your footage, I know who you are, and you belong here." And that's what really makes WIU feel like home.
Disaster tips from the objects left behind.
My home wasn't insured, but you can check your insurance policy now to make sure you're covered. Oh.
My savings are lost, but you can put money aside and plan for unexpected disaster costs.
We're lost forever, but you can scan important documents now so they survive.
For more tips on how to prepare, visit ready.gov.
The first time I met Morris, the door flew open and I got this larger-than-life personality talking at the top of his lungs.
Hey, how you doing today?
Oh, man. Oh, I totally forgot. Hold on, let me get this for you. Oh. Just had a magnetic energy. So I thought, all right, we're definitely going to be friends.
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
America, let's do lunch!
Why I love to do sports anchoring? Because, it's talking about sports. I decided to come to Western because I wanted an experience that wasn't like some other schools. I did color commentary for one volleyball game. I was terrified. I never did any broadcasting in high school, but when I was talking, it was all, staggered, and I had no idea what I was saying, and now I've done so many different games as a color commentator, play-by-play, now sports anchor. Every show and every game, it gets easier and easier, and I get more comfortable doing it.
The Western Illinois men's basketball team was trying to complete the series sweep against the University of South Dakota this past weekend. With the season winding down, both teams are looking to climb up the conference ladder and lock up a postseason berth. Brandon Gilbeck and the boys getting ready pre-game, looking to complete the series sweep against South Dakota, who's been pretty hot the last few games. Trying to rile them up. Early into the contest, South Dakota took a 6-0 lead, but C.J. Duff giving it down in the post to Brandon Gilbeck, bowling his defender. Nice easy hook shot off the glass for 2. Later in the ballgame, it was Kobe Webster starting to heat up as he drew the foul right there. He connected both from the line, and then the outlet pass back out to Webster, splashing home the triple, and then giving it to his partner in crime, C.J. Duff, 2 in a row from the right wing from beyond the arc. Later in the first half, Brandon Gilbeck throwing down a 2-handed slam, something we've grown accustomed to seeing through him throughout his Leatherneck career. Second half now, Leathernecks trail by 12, trying to mount a comeback. It's the freshman Ben Pyle driving to the paint, getting the basket for 2. On the other end for South Dakota, winding down the shot clock, it was all Trey Birch Manning. He added 19 from the game. Later in the second half, almost done here. 61-46, trying for one last effort. It was the freshman Zion Young crossing up his defender, bullseye from downtown. Leathernecks fell to the Coyotes 80-67, and Kobe Webster was the leading scorer for the purple and gold as he tallied 16 points. The men's next game will be on the road against Omaha tomorrow. The Western Illinois women's basketball team hosted the number 25 team in the nation this past weekend. The South Dakota Coyotes were the second-ranked team to come into Leathernecks inside of Western Hall this season. It was a tough game for Western Illinois as they lost 83-61, but played hard all 4 quarters. Leading the way for Western Illinois was Annabelle Gradinger. She tallied 15 points and 3 assists. The women's next game will be on Saturday inside Western Hall against Oral Roberts. Western Illinois' own Colin Saunders has been making waves throughout the NFL pre-draft process. The 320-pound defensive tackle made headlines when a video of him doing backflips was posted on social media by NFL analyst Adam Schefter. The video had NFL front offices eager to learn more. He was the first Leatherneck to receive an invitation to the Reese Senior Bowl game and is now training for the NFL Scouting Combine as he looks to prove NFL scouts why he is the real deal. Western Illinois baseball kicked off their 2019 season this past weekend against Tennessee Tech. NEWS3's Colin Miller was able to talk to head coach Ryan Brownlee and senior outfielder Justin Fitzpatrick prior to their first game against Tennessee Tech.
The Western Illinois Fighting Leathernecks are looking to have yet another successful Summit League season. I was able to catch up with outfielder Justin Fitzpatrick and head coach Ryan Brownlee before practice today to talk about the upcoming season.
You know, historically, we've been a little bit of a slower starting team, so hopefully with this year's experience we can get off to a good start, because if we get off to a good start, once we get in the league, we're usually in pretty good shape. So, you know, if we play the way we're capable of, it wouldn't surprise me if we break the school record for wins this year.
Head coach Ryan Brownlee believes his team is very versatile and can win in a number of different ways.
In baseball this year, we have guys that can hit some home runs, but we can steal bases, and we're going to be able to put a lot of pressure on teams offensively, which for me is fun, because you have more than one way to go out and beat teams. So if the wind's not right, we can beat teams by running and manufacturing if we need to, and if the wind's blowing out, we're going to hit some home runs. So it should be exciting for people to come watch us play.
Senior outfielder Justin Fitzpatrick knows that experience will be the biggest factor in the team's success this year.
I think it definitely does, and that's why I think that we're going to be successful this year. We hope to be successful this year, is because we have such a veteran group of position players, guys who have played a lot of baseball, that know that once the grind of the season gets in there, once we're at game 40, game 50, that we know exactly what we need to do to keep going. You know?
Fitzpatrick also believes that the sky is the limit for the team this year.
I thought last year we had a really good team, and we had some key parts that made us good last year. But this year, like I said earlier, that we have a lot of veteran leadership. We have a lot of veteran players who have played a lot of baseball. We obviously need people to step up, especially in the pitching department. But I think that this team can go really far, and we can make a run in the tournament later on.
Western Illinois baseball will look to have yet another good season in the Summit League, and we'll see what they can do this year. For NEWS3, I'm Colin Miller.
The Western Illinois baseball team will open their home season on March 15th at Alfred D. Boyer Stadium. That's sports. Next, a spectacle in night sky happened over Macomb last night. More about the supermoon coming up next.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, "Read your lease. No pets allowed." My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in the shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Nobody likes an awkward silence. You can actually use it for something good.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education, what are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget. That would be cool. Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Take a look at this. The sky over Macomb was treated to a supermoon last night. A supermoon occurs when the full moon is slightly closer to Earth in its orbit. The next supermoon can be seen on March 21st. Kudos to our photographer for getting that video.
Absolutely. I'm very impressed that they've got that good of a shot on the moon.
I'm sure the weatherman was out there looking at the...
I was cozy inside last night.
Okay, well, everyone wants to know about tonight and tomorrow.
Absolutely. So if you look at your screen right now, I do have the temperature up there for 27 degrees. We are going to have snow starting, and it's going to end up with ice throughout the night. Ice accumulations could end up with 1/10 of an inch. Snow, we are looking anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inches. So going into tomorrow morning, commutes, again, could be little dangerous, and into tonight could be a little slick out there.
All right, we'll have the latest on our website, and that's all for us today, but we are online all the time. Stay up to date with us, news3wyu.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Just search our handle, News3WYU. You can also search for us on YouTube and subscribe.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
And from all of us here at News 3, have a good night, Macomb.